You're going to have games where you have to grind it out. You run a marathon. There's some days in your training that just don't go well. I think that was one of those days, but you still got to finish your training. I think that game helps them when it comes playoff time. When you're in the second quarter of a playoff game and you've got to make a play and it's grinding your way, you think back, hey, we did it in Minnesota. We can do it again. I think those are kind of games you need to get ready for the big fight.
First thing I do when I see games is, and I learned this from an old high school coach, I go to the box score. And I've seen coaches do it forever. When you look at the box score last night, Mike, if I told you, here's the box score, guess the score.
Yeah.
Minnesota by 14.
You would think so, right?
Look at this. Dallas couldn't convert a first down. 1 for 9, 11%. Time of possession. They had more penalties. I always feel like, Coach, if you can play poorly and win, it's a good sign. When you can play poorly on the road.
In a hostile environment.
What was Belichick's theory on that?
Well, look, there's going to be games you're just not going to play well, but you go in there, we just got to find a way to win the game. That's at the end of the day, we just got to win the game. Nobody looks back. You know, the great thing about this is no one's going to look back at the end of the year and say, you know, that game in Minnesota was really tough. They're just going to say, we won the game, right? And that's really all that matters. And then Jason Garrett has the greatest thing going for him. He could sit there and put those numbers up in front of his team and say, guys, we played crappy. We got to get better. We won, but we got to get better. And that's a great motivating tool to help your team get better.
I always feel like, as a parent, my kids will beat up on me if they have a bad day at school, because kids need an outlet. They're little people, right? But if they treat the neighbors good, and they're good at school, and they're good on the road, they're good kids. They're going to beat mom and dad up because they need an outlet. New England and Dallas on the road, same team.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's the offensive line, but when I watch Dallas on the road, there are times I'm like, I almost think they're better on the road.
Yes, and I think both stadiums don't always lend itself to crowd noise. I mean, in New England, they're so used to winning, it's hard to get them to clap at times.
That is what I've heard.
You know, it's hard to get them to clap. They're used to a quality of play that's really high. And Dallas, it's so big and so massive that you would think it would be really an advantage, but it's not. And I think New England being undefeated on the road this year, Dallas being undefeated on the road is a perfect example of that. And it's battle-tested. When you win on the road, it's hard to win at home, but it's even harder to win on the road. That win for Jason Garrett on the plane ride home was a way to tell his team, look, guys, we're good. We gave them our C game, and we won, and that's a playoff team, caliber-type talent team, and we won the game. We're good.